with any sort of plan to address vacant land, it starts with an inventory, right? So you have to know what you're looking to address. But then the next phase of that is how you're going to address it. And with most community development activities, the best way to address it is through community-driven volunteer efforts, if possible.
The people that live here are the ones that really know what the issues are here and what the assets are, and they're the ones that know what people here want to see in their neighborhoods. And that's what we want. We want people to have something in their neighborhoods that they care about and that they actually want to see there.
And so we started the Ambassadors program as a way to help facilitate best practices and then really help them put their own ideas into action and fuel those actions with connection to resources, connection to other partners, and help navigate some of the public processes which can be kind of hard to navigate on your own.
My name is John Joseph Niederberger. I am an ambassador for the ReClaim South program in the Mount Oliver City of Pittsburgh neighborhood.
My name is Kara Jetty and I live in the Allentown neighborhood of Pittsburgh.
Well, my name is Cheryl Ruffin and I'm a native Pittsburgher. I grew up in Belsuver. I currently live in Knoxville.
My name is Gordon. I live in Belsuver.
Well, prior to GTECH, I was Linda. I've always been Linda. I was in St. Clair Village. A lot of people know St. Clair Village, and then we moved up here.
Hello, my name is Miss Natalie Thomas, and I am an ambassador for GTECH Strategy. The name of my neighborhood is Belsuver.
Okay, my name is Suzanne Niederberger Photos, and I'm from the Mount Oliver City area, also known as the Hilltop.
My name is Chitra Gurung. Now I'm from Mount Oliver for a very nice street.
My name is Dave Totten. I came to Pittsburgh to go to school and came back to Pittsburgh for work.
Vacant lots that are undeveloped, that have rubbish and debris, they are a billboard for the community that says we don't care, we don't have the resources to do anything about this.
Mount Oliver City neighborhood was the neighborhood where I grew up. I went to St. Joe's School and was a member of St. Joe's Church. The St. Clair Village site 60 years ago was farms. And then in the 50s they built public housing throughout the city of Pittsburgh. And St. Clair Village was one of the large public housing sites that was constructed. It changed the neighborhood though, I have to say. It became the worst of the public housing projects, and that had a ripple effect into the neighborhood.
When I married, my husband and I moved to the Bay Area and moved back to Pittsburgh some 20 years ago and found a very different community. I'm not sorry we moved back though, because I believe that there's a lot of promise here.
I came back to the area in probably 2002 when my parents fell ill, first my mother. When my father passed away, I had decided to stay in the neighborhood. Even though it has declined greatly, I fell in love with my neighborhood. It is my home, so I decided to stay and try to do something good in the neighborhood.
Well, I'm a native daughter. I was born and raised on the Hilltop. I moved away for almost 40 years. I was in Los Angeles. Came back here because my daughter and her husband came east. It's always been home. It's changed. Some of it's good, some of it isn't good. But it has changed, and I think doing this revamping and these projects that GTECH has allowed us to do makes it better. And people get the idea that things are changing, and they are changing for the better.
When we bought our house 8 years ago, we bought it for the view. We really didn't know anything about the neighborhood. Ever since moving here, we realized how lucky we are that we picked a neighborhood that had good neighbors, quiet street, friendly people around. It's just been a great choice for us.
We didn't move from any of the other states, but we directly came here in Pittsburgh as immigrant on August 15, 2012.
When I was a child, quite some time ago, there were fruit trees practically in every yard on my block. I remember there were plum trees across the street. There were apple trees, cherry trees, peach trees, grapevines, and then the gardens that you could raid judiciously. And I noticed that now there aren't so many. in the neighborhood. And so, yeah, that's why I got the idea of this and the natural treats, so kids would know that there's something healthy, good, and sweet other than candy.
I accepted a call in the ministry and started pastoring, and now I have the privilege of pastoring very close to where I grew up, to people that pastoring people I grew up with. So I've got that privilege. So what that does is inspire me to make sure that I can do everything I can to make sure the community that they remember is the community that I leave them with. A community that cares about the citizens, a community that has resources for them, a community that is relatively safe as we can be in this day and age, and just a community that cares. So I'm inspired to do that in this space now.
Policy plays a big role in reclaiming vacant lots because vacant lots increase exponentially in blighted and underinvested communities, where it becomes so large a scale of a problem that what can be done at the really micro level is increasingly limited.
So we went through Art Commission for this site because of a few aspects of it. We're changing the site and the way it looks, and so we were told that we needed to go through Art Commission to make sure it was all approved. The most daunting part of it was definitely the application, and I was very thankful for GTECH for going through that with me.
Knowing that there's money there, you just have to know where to find it. If you talk to the right kind of people, you want to let them know that you want to do well for the community. All in all, they're helpful, you know, but you have to be patient. That's another thing. You need to be patient.
Each and every day, the children within the local neighborhoods and start coming by, and they are the ones who truly inspired me. And then I planted a seed. We planted a seed, and the garden started growing.
The ones over there are for blackberries. There's going to be blackberries there, and then blueberries in the front there, and raspberries along here.
When I look around this environment, this space, the garden, new people in our community are interested to take part in this program, our garden. Friends they belong to our neighborhood. So they come, we talk to them, we share, interact. So ultimately we are having relation with them also.
So I guess my perception of community has changed by making friends with people who are in the neighborhood and in the Hilltop neighborhoods who also want to get involved in making their neighborhoods better places.
Unlike a rehab project or unlike a new construction project, these projects might be hundreds of dollars instead of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And doing that at a scale where for the same cost of rehabbing one old house on a block, you can deal with 50, 60, 70 vacant lots and clean up the neighborhood, that's a really appealing cost benefit for a community development corporation.
Given me a renewed sense of appreciation for the community we have. I mean, sometimes you take things for granted, and we're also trying to spread the word about what a great community this is and for people to consider living here.
I guess when I imagine this project being finished, I imagine it not being a bad place to walk through anymore. It's kind of like taking away the negative and putting something positive in its place. But for so long, I viewed this site as something to get through quickly, as something that I didn't like walking through, even though it was convenient. You know, it's been great to give people something to work on and to see people responding to it.
As a part of this project, it's increased my awareness. So I see the empty spaces now, but I don't see them as just empty spaces. I see them as opportunities to put something in them. And you know, what's needed here, and what would be pretty, and what about a sculpture, and why can't we, you know, I think in those terms as opposed to just an open space. What are we going to do with these open spaces? How are we going to utilize them so that they're not just blank, they're canvases now. We can do something with it.
Voices Against Violence collaborative effort with the ReClaim South project and the GTECH project not only has gone on for the past 3 years, but our youth have been asked to participate in the majority of the gardens being built up here in the South Pittsburgh area. it gives those individuals a certain appreciation for the effort. So the kid who's out here building a garden because he's been assigned is less apt to throw the papers on the ground, is less apt to be disrespectful to the effort.
It's nice to see people come back and really, you know, they come back and they get engaged and they're involved and they begin to own the project. So that's an important part to me. Someone comes back 2 weeks later and they see what they put in it, a seed that they plant and come up, and it's something they can eat.
Prior to GTECH in December of this year, I lost my husband, so now I'm a single woman again. I don't think there's anybody who disliked my husband, and when I say that, I really mean it. There's newspaper articles in the obituary from when he passed that you could read that for yourself. When he passed, my world ended. I mean, everything I knew. You know, my future became my past, and I had no idea what I was going to do. Working in the garden it let me mourn. It let me do my grieving while doing something good, and I knew he would have liked it. There's a lot of tomatoes because he loved tomatoes, and he was actually canning them. He had a place in Vacant County for a while, and he was actually learning how to can tomatoes, so it's really been helpful to me.
I thought it was really cool how I was able to work together with the other ambassadors with this project, because I didn't have a site of my own. So I was adding something new to other people's projects where they were working on sites. That was a huge help. So it was great the way we were all able to pull together to make this happen.
I'm proud to be part of my neighborhood now. I'm helping to be part of that positive change.
In general, I feel everything good. Suppose most of the people from our community, they got chance to get into this program, and they could get involved themselves with this program.
What do I envision? I envision that the pendulum is going to go the other way. And with little things like this, it shows that something's happening here, and I think people will take an interest and will care. And the idea is you set an example. You set an example that people can see, and you follow through.
I get up in the morning and I come out and I look at it and I said, I did that. I mean, I actually, with GTECH's help and with my neighbors, we were able to accomplish this, and I feel really proud of myself. I just swell up with joy that I was actually able to do this, not only for the neighborhood, but for me too.